Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Zainab. It's your first time, you're very much welcome. I make videos on medicine, lifestyle and advice videos. So today's video is going to be 5 things you should focus on in your 20s. It can be your early 20s, it can be your late 20s. It really doesn't matter. These are things that we all know, but sometimes we just need that reminder. And with that being said, let's just get right into the video. So the first one I'm going to talk about today is health. Now, I am a medical doctor and my second working year in the field, and over the years I've just seen young people come down with different illnesses, different diseases that they never thought they could have. And I think there's so many reasons for this. I think number one is fear. A lot of people are actually afraid to get tested. People are so scared because they always feel like once they have whatever disease it is, like their life is over. This is not true depending on the disease, but I think number one is actually fear, and I understand. However, younger people every single day are coming down with illnesses that would have been for people that were a bit older. Example is people with very high blood pressure. You will not think somebody that is in their 20s will have a high blood pressure. Something like fibroid is not something that is seen in younger women, but however, I have seen fibroid in a younger woman. I will always say that health is always wealth. Health is number one. I understand the fear, but it's not better you know what the problem is and then find ways to tackle it. Now, I'm not saying you should do this every single month, but at least once or twice a year or every 3 months, try and get tested. Test or routine examinations that you can do often. Number one is check your blood pressure regularly. Another one is checking your sugar levels. Another one is knowing your HIV status. Another one is knowing your HIV status. Another one is knowing hepatitis, if you have hepatitis B or C. These are very important things you should check. It's also very important that you try, and I know being young is a time for experimentation, like you want to drink, you want to try this, you want to try that. However, everything, I would just say that you should always be informed of the side effects or the dangers or whatever substance you use or you consume, because at the end of the day, you are not immortal. You do know that long-term overconsumption of certain substances or even alcohol can lead to long-term damage of your body. So just be mindful. Of course, I'm not here to tell you not to drink. That is up to you. However, just be mindful of the long-term consumption of these medications that you take, or the substances that you take, or the alcohol that you consume. I really like how, especially on social media, like health is very upfront, like it's very advertised that we should take more seriously, like exercising, eating right. Personally, for me, I don't take supplements. I don't personally feel like I need dietary supplements, and supplements is something I feel like you should always have a conversation with your health provider before you start to indulge in any of them. So just the basic one, just do the basic test, and it's actually easier to do it when you're younger. Like honestly, I think 3 years ago, before I graduated medical school, I used to exercise, and it wasn't that hard for me. Like in 3 months, being disciplined, I got my abs because I was like, I want to get abs. However, I don't know if right now, if I dedicate 3 months, I will get the abs at that same rate, because your body just gets older, it gets a bit harder, it gets a bit tiresome, and you just get so tired easily, like as you get older. So try and really optimize your youth. Try and exercise as much as you can, of course with moderation. Try and eat well as much as you can, fruits, veggies, whole grains. Like I know it's easier said than done, especially with our fast-paced lives, and everybody's just so busy, so you don't have the time or the energy to be cooking. But sometimes I would say try and just start small, and eventually you can build up from there. So that's my number one tip, is really focus on your health. Now the next one is money habits. Money habits. Now this one, I'm talking to myself, because I realized over these past few months, actually over like my working career, because over my working career, because I really just started working, like I'm just my second year in, I realized I have very bad money habits. I have a spending problem, and I even lack a saving spirit. Like I used to be someone that used to save in school, but I think with adulting and knowing that on my own, it's really difficult. So I really need to get back into my savings habits, more educated about money. Now I know online there are so many financial advice, but always take everything with a pinch of salt and do more research on it. Also, it's very important to know that sometimes some of this money advice or financial advice, if you pay attention, they work best for those in those specific countries. Like there's a very popular girl that I really love her financial content, but she's based in Canada, and most of what she says kind of tailors to those people that are in Canada. Like she always talks about the best saving plan or best this and best that, and I'm like, I'm in Nigeria. That will not apply to me, but what I can take from her, I do take. So sometimes it can be very difficult, especially a lot of financial advisors, they don't really talk in the sense of the Nigerian market. However, there is one that does, which is Money Africa. I think I've used them before, but I was just not disciplined enough to continue. But if you're looking for a financial outlet or place that you can get financial information, I will actually advise checking out Money Africa. But yeah, but really take money seriously. We all know the power of investing early and all of that, but it's a life that we save, and that's very true, especially with these economical issues that we have. It's really difficult. So don't beat yourself too much if you cannot have like a big savings plan. Like just start with the little that you have and do more research and educate yourself on the best methods for your own financial journey. Now, next one is connections. We all know that we need connections. Even when you were younger and you need to do something or you need to be somewhere, especially if you're in Nigeria, you remember like one of your parents calling this friend that they know or that person that they know just to make things a bit easier. So you do need to form connections. However, there's a slippery slope to this, because sometimes, especially those people that are strategic in their connections, it can come off a bit somehow to those on the receiving end. So always try and make your intentions genuine. Always try and make your approach genuine, even if your intention is basically just networking and just work related. There is a genuine and there is a palatable approach to things. You don't have to make people feel like you're using them or you're trying to use them to get ahead or climb a ladder. There's always a better way to go about it. But yes, connections are very important. Now I know some people can be shy. I do know that towards my late teens and early 20s, I was quite shy, guys. I was so shy that, so we had like a hostel then. I was so shy that like people used to, like my friends, they used to laugh at me that I'm always walking like this, like on the wall, like I'm just walking on the wall and I am not making eye contact with anybody. I think even till now, sometimes like I can be very fast in my walk and I don't really make eye contact unnecessarily, so I can still get really shy. So but that's not going to help you. Shyness is not going to help you. You need to put yourself out there. You need to make connections. You need to have conversations with people, because not only are you networking or trying to get something in return, maybe monetary or status. Sometimes just having that conversation with somebody that is ahead can really make a difference in your life. It can be personal, it can be career. So don't underestimate the value of having connections in your life. I think by now it's kind of obvious that I value friendships. I think I've made like 2 videos about friendships. So I really value genuine friendships, but I don't also think that everybody has to be your friend. However, they don't have to be just a random person in your life. You can still make a genuine connection with them, even though you guys might not be so close in terms of personal relations. There are other ways you can be close to people. So yeah, really try your best. I always say it's easier in your early 20s than late 20s, because as you get older, you start to form your own habits, you start to form your own person, and it gets a bit harder to tolerate. It gets a bit harder to tolerate other people. I'm not going to lie, it gets a bit harder to form connections, and plus everybody's guards are so up everybody gets are so up that you really might not even have the patience to even try and take time and really form that friendship. And another thing that's important is when you leave a place, you don't have to just forget about the people there. I'm not saying be in contact with every single person, but at least one person or two people, try and still be in contact with them, try and keep that relation with them. So again, come from it from a genuine approach. That's what I'm saying, one or two people that you actually connected with, people that you actually liked in that place that you were in. That's what I would advise that you should do. So for my number 3 advice is focus on building genuine, strong connections with people. Then number four for me is reading. Now, guys, I used to be someone that used to read in secondary school. I used to love, even primary school, like I grew up reading. Like there was a small room in my house that we used to call the library because there were just only books, like there were shelves of books and books and books. And I will never forget my first book ever, which was American Star by Jackie Collins. I wish I can get my hands on that book again because it just, even though I really had no business reading that book at that age, but it really just set the tone. And very funny story, the reason I actually started reading books was because I wanted to be a musician. And then my mom was like, okay, if you want to be a musician, you also have to be an author. I really don't know what they have. I really don't know why she said that, because maybe because of the lyrics, and maybe being an author will make me so diverse with words. I really don't know why she said that, but she was like, you need to be an author too. So I was like, okay, I need to be an author, I need to start reading. So that is where my love for reading really came from. And since I got to medical school, that love has died. Like the habit has died, and it makes me really, really sad, because it was something that it was an escape for me. Reading was really an escape for me, and over the years I've just really abandoned it. So it's something I really want to get back into, especially this year. And I'm really proud of myself that March and April I've read like at least one book. So I'm really, really proud. I'm just hoping I can really build on that. And you might wonder, what's the point of reading? Because I think right now in the social media era where everything is fast-paced and bite-sized and very short format content, reading books actually categorized under a long form like kind of content. It takes more time, it takes more effort to read a book, but guys, genuinely it is worth it. And I think another reason why people don't like to read books, because they don't read books that they like. You don't have to read the 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. You don't have to read money, psychology of money. There's some books that I have picked up and I was like, yeah, that's enough for me. I just couldn't get past it. And you shouldn't force yourself, because that is when you start to build resistance towards reading, because you just genuinely don't enjoy the books. And you don't have to read self-help books. You don't have to read money or financial books. You can just read basic books about different stories. It can be about romance, it can be about horror, it can be a thriller, it can be history, it can be a biography. Like there are so many resources, so many different kinds of books that you can really get into, and you really find the one that you really enjoy. So give books a try. And another thing is about reading is that it makes you a better conversationalist. It makes you a better storyteller. And this is something that I learned like some years ago, that the people that really like friendships, relationships, even partnerships, what really keeps them going is the stories they tell. It's not even about like the most grand things in life, like just basic stories. That is what people genuinely enjoy. It's like those on YouTube that have mastered the art of storytelling really have a lot of views, because we all like a good story. We all love a good story. So reading does help you in that way. Also build your vocabulary. So if reading is something that you want to start getting into, I would just say ease into it. Start with books that are light. For me personally, some people, I'm so sorry, my hijab has been moving all through this video, and it's annoying me so much, but there's nothing I can do about it. Let me try and adjust it. Please bear with my hijab, like it got loosened, so I'll tie it after the video. But anyway, yes, it makes you a better storyteller, and you just become more interesting to talk to. So I will advise reading and ease into it. You can start with very light books. Some people also do audiobooks. Personally, for me, I do like audiobooks, but I like audiobooks that are about biographies or self-help books. I don't like stories. I don't like stories being read to me, but audiobook is a very great resource. One that I use, the app I use is actually Audible. I think you pay like 5,800 naira every month. That is, if it's something that you think is worth the investment, then I would say try Audible. And if you're a first time like subscriber, you can have, I think, the first month or the first 2 or 3 months free. I'm not really sure, but I'm sure the first month you have it free, so give it a chance. So if you're someone that is lazy to read, you can try audiobooks. If you don't know where to start from for audiobooks, you can, for me personally, I always say start with Kevin Hart's book. I'll put it on the screen. I can't remember the name because I read it so long ago. But guys, naturally, I don't want to sound like a hater, but I did not really find Kevin Hart funny a lot growing up. But however, that book, I laughed so much. Like he gave us a glimpse into his childhood and his life, but he said in such a comedic way that it was very easy to absorb, because some of the stories were very hard to especially if you're saying it in a very serious manner, it was very hard to understand or take in. But he said it in such a light-hearted manner that it was very easy to absorb, and I really love that book, and I think eventually I might listen to the book again. So yeah, that's all I have to say for reading. Next one is experimenting. And I don't mean experimenting with drugs or alcohol or substances. I mean experimenting with your life. Travel. I want to have a girls trip. I want to have a solo trip. I want to do a YouTube channel. I want to learn how to bake. I want to learn how... Guys, like what I want to learn this year is so much. Like I want to learn how to cook better. I want to learn how to bake some stuff. I want to even learn gardening. Yes, I want to learn gardening. That might seem like an old woman thing to you, but to me, I just want to learn. Like there's just so much to learn, and I think sometimes we limit ourselves as we get older. But this point is not just for those that are in their 20s. If you're in your 30s, your 40s, your 50s. See, I'm even looking forward to retirement. Because when I'm retired, I'll have all the time to travel more. I would like to learn how to do different things. I want to even retire early, because there's just so much in this life that there's just so much to do. So, and the thing is, it's easier in your 20s because you don't really have much responsibilities. I'm not gonna lie, it's still hard, it's still difficult because maybe you've not gotten there financially to really do what you want to do. But you can always start with the little you have. So if it's to start a YouTube channel, start a YouTube channel. If it's to become an Instagram superstar, be an Instagram superstar. If it's to be a content creator, if it's to bake, if it's to go back to school, if it's to enter, don't let anybody limit you. Don't let anybody try and plant bad seeds in your head. Don't let anybody try and say, oh, but are you sure? Tell them to mind their business. Tell them to mind their business. Tell them to mind their business. Because that is how you start to limit yourself, when you have this scarcity mindset. And I know sometimes it can be very hard, especially in a country like Nigeria. It's actually something I started to develop some years ago that I had to like snap out of it. I'm like, nope. Here is abundance. Like it's always more. The sky is the limit. Like there's no limit. Like there is space for everybody. So even if somebody is saying, oh, but everybody's making this kind of video, don't listen to them. Or everybody wants to be into tech, don't listen to them. Or everybody, don't listen to them. If you know it's something that you have so much in your heart that you know that genuinely, I really want to try it. If it doesn't work, carry your things and you move on. But like life is not that hard. It's not that serious that you just start dwelling. Like example, if this YouTube channel doesn't work out, I'll move on. But at least that part of me that really wanted to explore YouTube, I've quenched that part of me, and I'm going to I can basically move forward and do other projects that really interest me. So really experiment your life. Experiment, travel, meet people, talk to people, have conversations, be open-minded, try different kinds of food. I know sometimes, especially Nigerians, even when we travel abroad, we still want our Nigerian food, and understand, truly I do, because when I schooled in Russia, I found it very difficult to eat their food. No offense to them and their food, it's just a different kind of palate. but try and experiment. So like sometimes just don't be in your own ways. Like sometimes just go out and do stuff that of course are not dangerous, that will not hurt you, that will not eventually affect you in the future, but really experiment with your life, experiment with yourself, experiment with your looks, experiment with the way you speak, experiment with the way you dress, experiment with the way you walk. Don't let anybody confine you into one sphere. That okay, human beings are multi-dimensional. You're not one dimension. You're not a one-dimensional. You're not a one-dimensional person. Like there are different facets of you. So explore them all. Okay. The next, okay, nice. I know I said 5, but this is the last one. The last one is spirituality. And yeah, spirituality. I think I know sometimes it can be very annoying, especially growing up, when your parents did force you to practice in certain spiritual or religious acts and you just did not understand, and it makes sense because because spiritual and religious acts, it really takes a sense of commitment. You have to feel it. It has to be something that you want. And I know sometimes Nigerian parents can go overboard. Even when you're an adult, a full-grown adult, they can still be forcing you to try and go to the church or go to the mosque, and their intentions are well. However, it doesn't really always translate because you're the one on the receiving end. But however, I will challenge you for yourself, not for your parents, not for society, not for even the partner that you think that you being this kind of person is going to attract. For yourself, really try and dig deep into your spirituality, into your religion. If you were born Christian, ask yourself a specific question. If you're born Muslim, if you're born whatever religion you were born with, really dig deep into that religion, not just what you were told growing up. Because there's one thing one of my friends told me like some years ago. She was like, especially for Islam, like a lot of us are still in primary school. We just know the basics. Like we don't try to get more knowledge. And the funny thing is, Islam actually encourages you to get more knowledge, especially about your deen, about your religion. People just take what their religious leader has told them without actually taking the time to know for themselves. That is why there are books out there. That's why there's the Quran. That is why there's the Bible. It's for you have the eyes. It's for you to read, for you to understand, for you to implement, not just listen to what everybody else is telling you. Okay. Now, if you're Muslim, and I know sometimes it can be really difficult to understand the Roman translation of like the Holy Quran, so you can actually do tasfirs. Tasfirs are very, very helpful, but I would still encourage you to read through the surah or the verse, read through it, try and pick up or understand the little you can. Then you can now add on tasfirs to it to give you a better understanding. If you're a Christian or you're Jewish, like just really try and hone in your religion. Don't let everybody else be telling you about your religion that you are practicing. You try and get information about it. You try and really know God for yourself. Like really try and know God for yourself, because at the end of the day, like nobody can do that for you. You have to end up doing that for yourself. And the peace that comes with it is like the peace that you get from just really knowing your creator, or just really delving into your religion. It's priceless. I'm telling you, it's really priceless. So I would encourage you to try, especially in your 20s, because I know the thing is, a lot of people like is when they're getting older, or maybe they've gotten like children, or maybe they're even about to die on their deathbed. That's when you realize spirituality and religion. But I would say that your youth, just the same way you use your youth, just the same way I advise you to use your youth wisely for your health, also use it for spirituality too, and trust me, you will not regret it. So yeah, thank you so much. Thank you so much for watching my video. I hope it gave you insight. I hope it was helpful. I hope it was a good reminder. And with that being said, I will see you guys in my next video. Bye bye.